The chair recognizes Dr. Kevin Ezell, President of the North American Mission Board, to give the report of the North American Mission Board. Dr. Ezell.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is a privilege to share with you and our messengers some of what God is doing through North American Mission Board. NAM's primary reason for existence is to help Southern Baptists reach North America for Christ. That is the mission that runs through everything we do. Because of your faithful giving to the cooperative program and the Annie Armstrong Easter offering, I want to share just a few ways that we do this. When it comes to evangelism, Monday at our pastor's luncheon, we launched Sin Relief. These are church-based compassion ministries that meet physical needs, alleviate suffering, and deliver eternal hope only Jesus can give. Sin Relief will be a great evangelistic resource for every church, no matter its size or budget. We are all concerned about SBC baptism numbers, and to help pastors and churches give greater focus to evangelism, we are launching a series of Engage 24 conferences. These events are led by pastors and for pastors to help them mobilize their churches for evangelism. Next year in Phoenix, on the Saturday before the convention, as a part of Crossover, we will partner with Greg Laurie and Harvest America for the first ever Crossover citywide crusade. We have already reserved the University of Phoenix Stadium, and we hope everyone attending next year's Southern Baptist Convention will make plans to arrive early and attend this event, which we believe can transform Phoenix and ignite an evangelistic spark throughout our convention. 2 years ago, we gathered in Baltimore, and NAM launched Three Circles, a three-circle life conversation guide. Today, there are nearly 2 million in print in both English and Spanish, and there have been 55,000 downloads of the Three Circles app. When it comes to church planting, our goal is to see Southern Baptists plant 1,200 churches a year. For perspective, that's roughly 100 a month. It's roughly 20 to 25 every week. Every Sunday, pastors, when you stand to preach, you're a part of an SBC family that's planning 20 to 25 new church plants that day. Last year, Southern Baptist planted 926, with 188 new affiliations for a total of 1,114 new congregations. We need to plant more churches, and the biggest challenge we face is finding the workers for the harvest field. Since 2011, NAM has directed an increased amount of its resources to church planting. And it's fair to ask, after 5 years, is it working? When we look at baptisms in SBC church plants, they baptize one person for every 14 members, compared to 1 for 52 in existing churches. This is true in the South and the non-South. For example, Louisiana Baptist Convention recently reported that their church plants have averaged 126 decisions for Christ each month since 2010. Southern Baptists in Vermont reported that 331 of their 398 baptisms last year took place at churches planted in the last 5 years. That's 83% of their baptisms happened in churches planted in the last 5 years. The Baptist Convention of New England, 39% of the baptisms last year came from church plants planted in the last 5 years. And in Canada, 53% of all baptisms came from churches planted since 2010. Southern Baptist churches and church plants reach people for Christ. And the more we plant, the more baptisms we will see. We all know Southern Baptists are strong in the South. 78% of our churches are located there. 86% of our members are there, and 87% of our cooperative program each year comes from the South. We are grateful for where we are strong, but our emphasis on where we are weak was needed in order to reach all of North America. Beginning 5 years ago, we began focusing most of our efforts reaching the underserved areas in the Northeast, the Midwest, the West, and Canada. So, when it comes to church planting, fair question is it working? Well, let's look at some of the numbers. 20% of the churches in the Iowa Convention were planted since 2010. That's 1/5 of their churches exist now, planted in the last 5 years. The same could be said for Nevada, California, Maryland, Delaware, Kansas, Nebraska, and Arizona. 20% of each of those SBC conventions, their churches were planted since 2010. Is it working? I'm pretty confident those states would say so. 24% of the SBC churches in Alaska were planted since 2010. In Penn, South Jersey Convention, 25% of their churches planted since 2010. Is it working? Pretty sure they would say so. In Minnesota, Wisconsin, 25% of their churches. In New York, 26% of their churches planted since 2010. Is it working? They would say so. In the Baptist Convention of New England, 31% of the churches were planted since 2010, 31%. And when you get to Canada, oh, Canada, some of the highest lostness rates in all of North America. In the last 5 years, NAM has tripled its investment in Canada. And we are grateful to be able to report to you today that 44% of the churches in Canada were planted since 2010. My fellow Baptists, this is a game changer in these states. The new churches will forever change the spiritual landscape of these areas. So, is the Send North America strategy working? We are convinced it is. Is it perfect? No. Are there things we need to do to continue to improve it? Yes. But is it working? Absolutely. We are thankful for what God has done, but there is still much more to do. We need more planters. We need more church plants to reach the vast numbers of people in North America. I want to close by thanking our pastors. You are on the front lines of ministry. You are the mission sending centers. We exist to serve you and to help you as you lead your flock. That is the responsibility I take seriously, and it is one that I consider a great privilege. Thank you for how you lead your congregation to pray, to participate, and provide for our missionaries. We are deeply grateful and will stop at nothing less than excellence in every area. Mr. President, that concludes my report. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ezell. The chair recognizes 7A, who has a question. Microphone 7A. Would you please identify yourself by name, your church, and ask the question?
Yes, my name is Alan Calkins. I am a messenger from First Baptist Church, Grace Summit, Missouri. My question is, given the fact that NAM is not part of the prime directive of the Southern Baptist Convention, which is international missions, why should NAM continue to be spending the amount of cooperative program funds it does on domestic projects that are also being carried out by state conventions and Baptist associations? Can we still afford to spend cooperative program dollars on these redundant efforts when we have had to lay off over 1,000 missionaries?
All right, thank you for your question. Dr. Ezell?
Sure. As David Platt would tell you, 100% of the funding for the International Mission Board comes from North America. The stronger our churches are, and the more churches we have in North America, the stronger our ability is to go into the uttermost parts of the earth. And so it's both and, not an either or. And so we believe, and we can see even from the class of 2010, when I say class, I mean of just the churches that were planted in 2010. Last year gave over $3 million to missions. And the state exec in a Northeast state recently told me, if we don't continue to plant churches, we will not exist. The world has come to us, and we have got to be strong all over North America, not only to reach this country, but it's imperative if we're going to reach the world. Because if our churches go down and we're decreasing, we really believe we lose 800 to 1,000 churches at the SBC convention every year. And so we're trying to plant 1,200 churches just to keep breaking even. And so we believe the stronger North America is, the stronger everything will be as we try to reach the world for Christ.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? There are no further questions. So, Dr. Ezell, thank you for your report, and may the Lord bless you.
Thanks.
And would y'all please extend your gratitude to Dr. Ezell and the ministry of the North American Mission Board.